Hey you guys, happy Friday. Welcome back. Thank you for tuning in. My name is Latasha Brown. I am the owner of Latasha Brown Consulting, the founder of the Budget Pusher blog, and the creator of the Uncover Your Financial Vision Budget Planner. So, welcome, thank you. But first, if you like things such as learning how to manage your money, learning how to budget wisely, learning how to save money, pay off debt, and to get your whole financial health in line. I am your girl. Like this video, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so that you will be notified when I drop another video. Thank you. So today, if you're like, girl, like this whole budgeting stuff is just not for me. It's overwhelming. It's complicated. I don't make enough to budget. It limits me. It just gives me anxiety. And girl, I have more going out than I have coming in. I am not going to look at all that mess. If that is you, stay tuned. All right, y'all, I want to share a simple budgeting method anyone could use even if you're a beginner. It's a method that I still use. It's called the zero-based budgeting, and it literally moves you from seeing your finances from a place of being complicated to clarity. So we're going to just dive right in. All right, what is the zero-based budget method? It is a method that you allocate all of your money to expenses, to savings, to a debt payment, to those financial goals, your expenses, your bills, and all of that great stuff. The goal is to have your income minus expenses to equal zero by the end of the month. The purpose is for you to know exactly where your money is going and give each dollar a function. Each month you can mix things up, and this method is very beginner friendly and it puts you in a better control and a better place with your finances. So how can you get started with budgeting? It's just as simple as just gathering your income, listing out all your expenses, categorizing your expenses, fixed, variable, get your final numbers by subtracting expenses from income, knowing where do you stand. Do you make enough money? Do you need to cut back? Are you in a negative? Are you in a positive? All that great stuff. What goal do you need to work on? Do you have an emergency fund? Do you have debt? Are you trying to make a big purchase? Are you trying to invest or contribute more to your 401k or open up an IRA? Those are things that you can work on. And then getting organized, separating your accounts, which will help you keep a track of your spending. Accountability. When you are budgeting, a lot of times you feel like, oh my God, I cannot do this. But the one thing that will keep you going is just having that support, having accountability, get you an accountability partner. You don't have, knowing that you don't have to do this alone. You do not have to go through this budgeting process alone. Scheduling a budget date, check in with your goals, checking in with your goals, your savings, your budget, your accounts often, and just giving yourself grace. Sometimes we have to pause and let remind ourselves that you're taking these steps, you're doing the necessary things, and soon you will see great progress. But you have to give yourself grace and not be so hard on yourself. So I'm going to dive right into the an example budget, just a simple process. For example, right here in this example, you have paycheck 1, 1250, paycheck 2, 1250. Even if your pay fluctuate, budget for the least amount to make things more simplified. Then you list out your expenses. Here I just did just a just looked at what your rent or mortgage would be, and I categorize each section: car payment, insurance, cell phone, credit card, daycare, student loan, grocery, utilities, gas, eating out, entertainment. And this is just based off of a single home income. Okay. And then once you have your income, your expenses as outlined, then you come over and you will see that you've added up your income, you added up your expenses, put in tithes. I'm a person who believe that tithing is so important and it should be taken off the top. So you put in your tithes and then you get your final numbers. In this example, your final numbers, you're in a positive. $120 after everything. That's pretty good. Um, just even having that number in the positive. Some people may be in a negative, and that's okay. You have wiggle room to make some changes in your budget. So if your final numbers is $120, you can take $60 per paycheck and say, okay, this is what I have realistically. This is what I have left over. Okay, what's next? Do you have an emergency fund? You can easily start one and fund it with that $120 at the end of the month. If you know that you want to really ramp up your efforts, look at your expenses. Start with calling your insurance provider, your cell phone providers. Start calling those providers and negotiate your rate and see where you can make a difference at. Look at your grocery. If you know that $200 is realistically for your family, depending on the size of your family, don't make changes there, because you want to make sure you have a realistic budget. Because what happens if you start cutting back too much, you're going to end up getting burnt out and feeling overwhelmed. But you can do things such as digital couponing, looking at, the sales paper and shopping off the sales paper, shopping from your inventory that you have in your home and planning your meals based on that. So you could cut back in that areas without drastically changing your grocery budget. Looking at eating out, looking at entertainment. Those are things that you can change and you can cut back in when you want to ramp up your efforts when it comes to saving money, when it comes to paying off debt. Now, organizing your accounts, ditching the clutter. How can you really organize to the point where you can see some clarity over your finances? Organizing your accounts, meaning kind of separating your accounts out. And how I do this is I have a bill account, it's a checking account. This account is where I pay all my bills out of. I don't even carry the debit card, as this account is used specifically for bills and bills only. So I'm paying my bills either online or automatic draft. Now I have a spending account, and that's another checking account, a separate account. And this is if you are not using the cash envelope method, and I don't, I have another separate account, which is a checking account where I use for spending only. And these, for example, these are your variable expenses. I carry my debit card and I spend as outlined in my budget. So I use it for my grocery, use it for my gas, I use it for, eating out, I use it for entertainment. And then I have another account for savings. And I have a high yield savings account where I fund my emergency fund. And this is where you can have your savings set up for your emergency fund. And then as a bonus, you can have a separate savings account, a separate high yield savings account for sinking funds, just so that you can track your progress and track what each account is doing. Sometimes it may seem overwhelmed, but if you are a person that do not carry cash, this could be a great process to organize your accounts and ditch the clutter. All right, so we're at the end of this presentation. I hope that you were able to gain something from this presentation. Drop a comment, let me know your thoughts, let me know the process that you're using, and let's stay committed to the process. Enjoy the process. Have fun. Don't overly overwhelm yourself or overly complicate the process. Keep it super simple. All right. See you all next time. Have the most fantastic weekend.